You need to understand how two neurons talk to each other. Your subjective experience of that might be completely different than your sister. This is the picture of my last 25 years of work. Basically, it has everything. I am really excited to welcome you into this journey of Destiny X. How to claim your highest destiny using the most advanced neurology and psychology, cutting edge ideas that are out there today. I'm laying down. I can sense that something is slithering through my foot. And I can sense that it is crawling to my hip. And then I can feel her. I feel like a snake. It's crawling on my body. And her body is touching against my chest. And I can sense the pressure. I'm feeling afraid. I feel like this is a moment of truth. Every second is feeling like an eternity. I can see the white dot on her face. It's a black cobra with a hood up. And I could see its eyes and its tongue. It's coming out and it's going in. And it's coming out and it's going in. I'm lying down, helpless, not able to move. If I move, it will bite me. If I don't move, it might bite me anyway. So what do I do? So I look at it, and she looks at me, fully hooded, with the tongue coming out. I could see only her one eyes. Then I thought, you know what? What if there is no animosity from my side? What if I would look at her completely judgment-free? What if I could look at her, maybe admire her beauty while she's hooded, while she's about to bite me? I want to see what happens. Either way, I will be able to find out if I'm judgment-free after this, dead or alive. So I'm looking at it. She's looking at me. And then I'm admiring its beauty, the black, dark color, the white dots, and its eyes, the tongue going in and out. And then it crawled further, and then it crawled, and through my left shoulder, it crawled away. I woke up from my dream. I saw this dream probably 3-4 years ago. And as I was going through this dream, I realized one thing about human experience. There is a navigation system that it's already built into you to find your highest destiny if you're able to follow certain things. And that's what Destiny X is about. If you're already doing $1 million to $100 million and you want to grow to the next level, this is for you. But if you're not that level, if you're just starting out and you want to truly grow your business to the next level, this is for you too. If you're emotionally challenged and you are like stressed and scared and fearful all the time, and you want to be happy and joyful most of the time, this is for you. And if you're already experiencing amazing health, and then you want to take your health to the next level, this is for you too. If you already have a great career and you want to take your career to the next level, this is for you too. Because this is going to cover everything that you need to do to make your life better. And if you read every book, every scripture, every philosophy, every idea out there, every self-help book, and you attended seminars and journeys and everything, and still you didn't move to the next level, this is a conversation that you have been looking for. And finally, if you have none of this and you are struggling with everything, this is for you too. So Destiny X is to help you find the resonance, the coherence of your heart, coherence of your gut brain, which I'll talk about soon, of your head brain, which is defined into 3 layers: the prefrontal cortex and the neocortex, the limbic system, and the brainstem. And then how it processes, I'm going to share about that, how it processes information, so that is restricting you from moving forward. And how multiple generational effect of this brain that you have from your grandparents to your parents to you and to your next generation, how you're transferring the same conditional patternized behavior energetically, physically, and psychologically. We'll talk about that too. We'll talk about the emotions that you're feeling and those emotions, how you could convert them and change your body in a way that you could claim your highest destiny. And that those emotions has recipes, like how those emotions are formed in your body, and find out and how to alter them. This is going to be a lot of journey, right? And if you feel like you're scared or stressed sometimes, and if you feel like sometimes you shrink into a body just like you are in the womb, and you feel helpless, and you feel like you cannot move forward anymore, this is going to help you come out of it. I will help you to see the part of you that is unbroken. And we'll share Pentagon model of your brain, and then how it is creating conflict in you. And then the work that we created over the last 25 years about the 7 layers of Psychome. And we are introducing a lot of new words, and one of them being Psychome. I'll talk about that, and I'll show you all of that as well. I'll talk about how's your story, the story that you have for yourself. It is being drawn for you as you go forward in time. And how you could freeze that story and start editing the story to the story that you want to have in your life. And how to change that using science and technology. How the 10 drives that are pulling you forward or pulling you back or conflicting you is affecting your life, which is one of the 7 layers of the Psychome. And about humility circle, how you could use this model to stay successful for the rest of your life. It's a lot of stuff. Also, I'm going to share about like personal value conflicts, how to identify the conflicts inside of you, what values are conflicting within you, and see how you could fix them so that you can move forward, and so on and so forth. How to create resonance between your heart and your brain so that they work in synchrony so that you could move to the next level. How questions are born internally that is stopping you from moving forward, and how to use those questions to help you navigate to the next journey. And how you are affected by people around you, and how they are influencing you, and how those influence is limiting you neurologically from moving to the next level, right? So how you could use all of this to find your fulfillment so that you could stay fulfilled for the rest of your life. And why guilt, shame, and envy is stopping you from moving to the next level. Because if you don't really understand shame, guilt, and envy, then essentially you are going to be stuck until you break through that. Imagine living a life in one toe. One toe. And you're jumping with one toe and imagining that you're living a full life, that I'm living a full life. We are using a small part of our brain because rest of it is conflicted. And we're stuck into that reality, thinking that life has to be hard, thinking that everything else is going to affect me, thinking that everybody else is going to influence me, thinking that I cannot move forward fast enough, and be stuck there. And this series is going to help you keep your foot down and use the other leg and use all your 10 toes and your feet. Who's excited about it? Put excited in the chat so this way we can continue this journey. Awesome. So I want to share about this giraffe. The tiny giraffe was in the mother's womb in savannas of Africa. And some guy with a jeep wanted to see this giraffe, accidentally hit the mom. And the mama giraffe instantly fell down and died. Now, in the process, this baby giraffe is coming out. So when the baby giraffe comes out, the only thing it could see moving is the jeep. So obviously, the jeep must be my mom. The jeep must be my mom. So he started following the jeep, kind of like barely walking, barely running. And then he thought jeep is his mom. And wherever he sees a jeep, he'll run behind it. And when he grew up, he started looking at the jeep as his mate. So he, in fact, tried to mate the jeep, thinking that that is his mate. This is what we call as imprint in psychology. So imprint is irrational, not logical. We are human giraffe that are conditioned by imprints. There are three ways we are conditioned by imprints. And this, like I said, many of these things, no matter what you have studied, many of these things were hidden from us for a long time because we didn't even have the framework to understand it until now. The human giraffe has three types of imprints. One is biological. I'll talk about it in a second. Second one is psychological. And third one is cultural. Just by understanding this, it's going to start getting you ignited to find the next level in your life, in any of these areas or all of these areas combined. So let's talk about the biological evolution. So if you look at the biological evolution, there is a huge journey towards being a human. Okay? And in that journey, I'm going to summarize, take the essential part of it, and I'll share from a cell to being mammal, to great apes and humans. In this process, what happened was we as a species have 100 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells. So we have 100 trillion cells. Each of these are complete cells that are intelligent. So you started just like an evolution. You had one cell. And that cell was complete. So if that cell was complete, all of your cells are complete. What does that mean? Which means each of your 100 trillion cells are complete with complete intelligence. But there's something more. There is 1/1000 of those cells are more intelligent. 1/1000 of those cells are more intelligent. They are called neurons. We have 100 billion of them. 100 billion. So we have 100 billion neurons in our body. Okay. Of this 100 billion neurons, there is like fascinating. It was fascinating for me to find out, like, first of all, where are they located? Most of it is in the head. But there are other places, neurons too. We'll talk about that in the series. And how are they wired? And how do they operate? This is what I needed to find out. Because now neurology has developed a lot. Rather than giving you folk science, I just want to give you literal science. And then I wanted to share some of my imaginary ideas that might not be proven yet. And if I'm sharing my idea that is not proven yet, I will say so. Otherwise, it is scientifically proven. So as I found out, 99%, as you probably know, 99.9% of neurons are in this area. Where are the rest? I'll share with you. There are some specific areas. And if it's only 0.01% of the neurons or 0.1% of the neurons are in other places, what's a big deal, you might be asking? It's a big deal. It's a big deal because there is a particular area in your body, there are 40,000 neurons. And those neurons can independently remember stuff. Those 40,000, which is like peanuts, nothing, right? Those 40,000 neurons can remember stuff, but it's not in your brain. But I'll share that with you in a few minutes, okay? So 99% of the neurons are in your head. Rest of them are somewhere else. So this is what we call as a brain stem. The brain stem. We share this with crocodiles. This is what we call as the emotional brain or limbic system. Limbic system has basically amygdala, hippocampus, and mammal-related stuff. So this is we share it with mammals, the yellow part of the brain. This part, the back of this brain, which is the pink part, we share it with monkeys. And this part, we share with other humans. So which means the front area of this brain is only available for only one species, which is humans. And again, we will go deep into all of this soon. But I would like you to understand that we somehow luckily developed 100 billion hyper-intelligent cells, and the intelligence of which is increasing as you go from this bottom to the top, to the front, all the way to the front. So these cells, these neurons in your front area of your brain can do miracles. And I have witnessed many of them over the course of my life. And we are witnessing that miracle right now together. We are creating that miracle right now, which is altering your destiny to create the highest destiny, if you're with me. Okay. So this is a fascinating world. And we have so much to share about this fascinating world, but I need to move on to the second imprint, which is psychological. Psychological imprint, if you look at it, psychology is a study of mind. So I have to define mind, a simple definition for mind. So what is mind? Mind is a process that regulates the flow of information and energy. Mind is a process. It's a process that regulates flow of information and energy. Like you go to a TSA agent, people who are in the US, or an airport security person, they regulate who goes in, what goes in, how much water you could bring in, especially the water is very dangerous, like how much water you could bring in, how much you should not bring, toothpaste, yes or no, regulates. Mind regulates flow of information and energy, simple stuff. And we are holding on to a mind from our past. What does that mean? It means that we still think that we are in fight or flight or freeze. In other words, our lower part of the brain, namely limbic system, which has sympathetic nervous system, and we'll talk about sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system soon. And why do I need to learn all this neurology? Because this is your brain, and you need to really know how to use the thing in between your ears, right? So that is why you are studying this. So this brain stem, which is kind of a cool part of your brain, which regulates body temperature, everything, the heartbeat, everything. This part is like predominantly controlling the mind in a certain way that we still think that we are in survival. As a collective, we think that we are in survival too. So we'll talk more about this too in this series. So I just wanted to give you like a deep overview of what I'm about to share with you, and also learn a lot of things in this process. This session is going to be the solid foundation in which the 100-story building is going to be laid. Right? So you will learn a lot of important terms that will help you recraft your destiny. So the third layer is cultural. So what does cultural mean? So in other words, as we progressed, like you don't see a chicken having a family, right? Of course, The mama will take care of the kids for some time and then they are gone, right? Versus we realized that we could be a collective. So family was born after a certain time. And then tribes were born. Like, oh, we could live as 149, 150 people. As 150 people, we could be stronger and we could protect our tribe. And then we have to find meaning for our life. So then religions were born. And once we found meanings and we felt that we have different belief systems, then countries were born because territory became important. And then the social media developed. Now we are going on Facebook or Instagram and things like that. So cultural evolution, as we progressed from being an animal to a domesticated animal, to farming, to internet, to doing other stuff, what we did is we developed a cultural way of thinking through three things. And if you closely look at any culture, whether it is religion or family or a company or a tribe, you will see these three things. Whether or a cult, you will see this too. And if you could think about a cult that you already know, you will see this. They all have the same belief. They all believe in something common, at least 2 or 3 things that they have in common. They all have same vocabulary. They use the same words. I have a strong belief that if you could find 7 new vocabulary, 7 new words, you could change the world. 7 new words, and then you spread that words to the entire world, you could change the world. So beliefs, there are certain set of beliefs that they have. There are certain set of vocabulary that they have, words that they use, and then certain type of questions that they ask. So they ask same questions, same vocabulary, same beliefs. Keep circling, and now we have a tribe. Now we have a family. Now we have a religion. Now we have a tribe. Now we have a country. So this is, and when people have, if your country is going through a conflict or confusion, what is happening? The beliefs are shifting. One person believes it should be like this. One person said we should be socialist. Another person say we should be capitalist. Another person thinks this is my vocabulary. Another person says that is my vocabulary. And another person is asking one question. Another person is asking still another question. Do you see that? So every culture is formed through this modality. And why you need to understand culture? Because culture, as much as I love every culture, culture is influencing you. Sometimes some culture is limiting you. Some tribes are limiting you. Some families are limiting you too. So we need to find out and rectify. That is why we need to understand. So I would like you to understand this thing. And these things might oh my gosh, I know this already. I studied this thing. No, you haven't. I can promise you this. Especially the things that I'm about to share with you in the next series, in this series, the things I'm about to share with you, nobody has studied this. So I would like you to be understanding this. In a regular sense, you might not understand what I'm saying. If you truly want to understand, do this. Empty your cup. Empty your cup in a sense, we never understand anything. We are just confirming what we already know. So I would like you, for the next few minutes, stop being knowledgeable. Just be curious. Like a 3-year-old, like a 4-year-old. Ready to absorb like a sponge. What else can I understand from this? Because the biggest challenge that humans are facing, because what I'm about to share with you, it is not going to change your life if you are not curious. Because I could tell you all the things that I'm about to share with you for the next few hours in this series. Nothing will change if you don't become curious. When you become curious, when you're trying to find answers that you're looking for, when you are actually, truly, emotionally passionate and paying attention to this, you might see things start changing inside of you. Empty your cup. Not for me, but for the wisdom of the universe. So wisdom can come in and fill you. Wisdom can come in and fill you if the cup is empty. Next thing, expand your cup. We all understand based on what we understand. If you're an engineer, you think in engineering terms. If you're a doctor, you think in medical terms. If you're a coach, you think in coaching terms. If you're a business person, you think in business theme. If you're a farmer, you think in a farmer context. So let me give you a classic example that I share, which is they bought few of the farmers from India to see Empire State Building and asked them, what do you think about this? Their question is, first of all, how much rice can we store in this big building? And secondly, because of the lift and everything, it's so difficult. How do we carry the rice from the 20th story down and then go and sell it? I feel like this is too inconvenient. Please don't be that person. I would like you to be curious, fresh, so that you could change your destiny. Why your destiny is not changing after like so many self-education, so many therapies, so many sessions, so much understanding about the world? It's because of this. Starting with this, we need to start thinking differently. Not just in a traditional sense. Oh, I heard thinking differently 1,000 times. This is not that thinking. I would like us to find your silence within you and stop for a moment and allow yourself to be curious again. Because once you become curious, so many things happen, but your neurology changes too, especially in the front area of your brain. And I'll talk more about that soon. Understand that these imprints are in your body first. Your body is your subconscious mind. People talk about subconscious mind. Your body is a representation of your subconscious mind. What does that mean? What you're feeling in your body is evolutionary habit. It's a habit that is built in your body. You're feeling it. If you're feeling stressed, you're feeling it, right? If you're feeling sad or happy or joyful or ecstatic, you're feeling it. So your subconscious mind is feeling through your body as an evolutionary habit. And when in the evolutionary habit, since our first imprint as a life was shrinking in the mother's womb, when we are stressed, we do the same. One more time. Since your first imprint in the mother's womb was shrinking because you had to fit into the really expensive real estate, right? It was not a cheap real estate, not much space. So you had to shrink into that. And when we are stressed, we shrink. We shrink into a smaller person. And this is so much true in body language as well. And I'll talk about a body language angle of destiny in a future session. But think about it this way. This body, which is your subconscious, is going back to that part of you. That part of you that was like shrunk, like a tortoise. We're putting the head in. We just get stuck. You might have felt this sometime in your life. If you didn't feel this, I'm happy you did it. You heard a really bad news. You heard a really bad news. And you're like, you're listening to it. It's a phone call, probably. What happened? You drop down. You're like this, you're like excited, and you get this phone call, you're like, you didn't make any noise. You didn't say any word. You just drop down like that. Have this happened to you before? That means your body, the subconscious figured out, oh my God, I'm scared. I should feel really scared. And then I should release cortisol and adrenaline in my body. And then I should not feel happy anymore. I should be scared. I should try to figure out, I should go to fight or flight. That's it. Dropped. Shrinking. Just like a tortoise. We do the opposite sometimes. Occasionally, we come out of it. We win in sports. Do you see? This is not a person's victory. This is opening of the body. Just think like that. This is opening of the body. So this guy is saying, I have a body from here till here. That's what he's doing. That's what he's saying. Okay? So he's expanding his body, stretching his body all the way. He's stretching his body and expressing that in the universe through body, the subconscious. So it's a body game. It's a body game. She's opening her mouth wide to expand her body. She's expanding her body in a certain way. Like she's feeling that. Like, do you see there is a gap between her elbow and her body? She's expanding her body and she's expressing that, opening her mouth and expressing that. And we see this a lot in sports. Michael Phelps, like, do you see that? See the same pattern again and again? Do you see this? Your body is your subconscious. What you're feeling in your body, and especially when it is in Olympics or sports or whatever, you will see that. You will see that people are expanding their body for an imaginary victory. What did they win? I mean, it's a relative idea, right? Right. So they felt they competed with somebody and won something, which is awesome. But at the same time, they are allowing themselves to expand their body using sports as an excuse. Okay. So I'm going to introduce a new vocabulary. It's called Oransa. Oransa basically means you are an expanded human in alignment with nature, in alignment with your creator. So what does that mean? You are feeling grateful. You're feeling grateful and you're feeling love. And this too, gratitude and love, transcended into joy. And you're feeling joyful in your subconscious. That joyfulness, I'm not talking about joyfulness like that you feel once in 3 years. When you feel joy 99% of the time. When you feel the joy within you 99% of the time, the chemical components are gratitude and love. So when you combine these two chemicals, hydrogen, oxygen creates water. Gratitude and love creates joy. They're like, oh, what is gratitude? I read 70 books on gratitude. This is a different dimension of conversation. And I'll show you scientifically, chemically, how to create that. I'll show you how to release your brain so that you could feel gratitude, so that you could feel love. How to use your heart in a very specific way to feel love and gratitude. So please be curious. Please stay curious. Gratitude plus joy equals love. So when you feel that joy, and you feel like you are vibrating in this universe like a flower on sun, like a leaf in a rain, and it's dancing. And when you feel like you're dancing in this universe in ecstasy, I call it Oransa. Okay, so that is what Oransa is. So I measure it 1 to 10. 10 means you are absolutely in the dance. 1 means you feel totally depressed. We'll study depression too. Why we need to study depression? So that we know what we need to do to get your brain to go to the opposite direction. So 10 Oransa. So if you're willing to find that 10 Oransa, 10 joyfulness, 99% of your time, put that in the chat. Put that in the comment. 10 Oransa. Okay? Now, we will go extensively on this Oransa and how to claim your highest Oransa so that you could claim your highest destiny as well. So now I want you to understand some important ideas about brains. So these cells, we have 100 trillion cells. How many cells? 100 trillion cells. So of which 1/1000 of the cells are neurons, the higher intelligence cells. Those higher intelligence cells, imagine this is your brain, this is a forehead, this is a back, this is the top back, this is a limbic system, this is a brainstem. Credit to Daniel Siegel for inventing this idea. This is a front area. This is called prefrontal cortex. This is a front area of your brain. And this particular part has more intelligent neurons, meaning neurons are already intelligent, but these neurons are already highly intelligent, but you're not able to use them. Strange, right? What do you mean I'm not able to use them? I use them all the time. You are able to use them, but not to the extent that you could use. Not to the extent that I could use. So we are able to use them, but not to the extent that you could use. And I'm going to share with you a fascinating science on why you are not able to use it and how to use that. But let's understand, in order for me to share that with you, you need to understand how two neurons talk to each other. Okay? So, two new words that I would like you to understand. One is synapse. Synapse is basically, imagine that you and your neighbor has kind of a secret tunnel between your houses, and you could go inside that tunnel and talk to your neighbor and then come back. So synapse is basically that. So you have this weird looking thing called neuron. It's very weird looking, right? Like long and everything, and it has long part, this part, everything. And this is another neuron. So what they do is they have this thing called synapse. Okay. Do you see this tiny blue things? Synapse. And they use electrical signals from one neuron. So in other words, they are giving electric signals from one neurons to another neuron. And one neuron is sending a chemical signal. It's saying that, oh, I have some chemicals to communicate with you. So in this tunnel, the neighbor is saying, I want to send you some chemical, right? And the other neighbor is saying, okay, you have some chemicals? Okay, let me convert that into electricity and talk to you. And why do you need to understand this? Because this is critically important for you to alter your destiny. So there is one chemical, serotonin is a chemical. You might have heard about her. Dopamine is another chemical. You might have heard about her. Noradrenaline is another chemical. Maybe you heard about her too. These are different chemicals. So these chemicals are coming inside the brain, and that chemical is telling the other neuron, hey, just start some electricity. And this chemical is activating, in other words, firing another neuron and saying, let's start some electricity. And through the electricity, other neuron is understanding what is required. And this guy, the first neuron, is like, okay, give me my chemical back. So you are asking the neighbor, give me my chemical back. And the neighbor is having the electric thing. You understand so far? Is that good? Clear, right? So that's how neurons communicate. Electric, chemical, chemical, electric, chemical, electric. And this goes on like that. One person, chemical, electric. And then another person, chemical, electric. Keep on going like that, back and forth. Why you need to understand this is depression is associated with these chemicals. And many of these chemicals. And I'll talk about depression because we all need to understand depression in order for us to find our fulfillment, because fulfillment is the opposite of depression. So synapse, you got it? First time, you got it. So celebrate yourself. This is a good neurology. Like you're learning neurology and changing your destiny. What a big deal, right? In one time, you get to learn neurology in the process of changing your destiny. And I'm sure you could teach this to other people as well. Now, there are 1,000 to 13,000 synaptic connections for each neuron. So imagine you have a house, you have a neighbor, you might be connected, you might have these tunnels with 1,000 houses, sometimes 5,000 houses, sometimes 13,000 houses. That's a lot of houses. 13,000 houses. These tunnels, so we have 100 billion neurons, and then each neuron is connected to at least 1,000, and then some of them are like 13,000 houses. Do you want to know which neurons, the back or the middle or the back, top or the front, which one has 13,000 connections? I'm going to share that with you. This is why you need to learn this. So each neuron has from 1,000 to 13,000 neighbors. And I'll share more details into like how this is structured inside your brain so that you could neutralize a certain part of your brain and then activate certain other part of your brain so that you could claim your highest destiny. Second term. First term you already mastered, 50% done. Great job. Second term, myelination, which is a very simple thing. Myelination is a fancy word for saying there is a wrap. Like for example, when you have metal, like metal connecting from, like, you know, there is a cable. Like if you have this metal cables or copper cables connected from one place to another place, and there is no insulation, it's horrible, right? So what brain does is, when two neurons are communicating with each other so much, the brain is like, huh, looks like these guys are really good. Let's get them married. Let's put a ring on it. And what they do? They put an insulation around these neurons' synaptic connections. So, neuron 1, your house, the neighbor house, there is a tunnel, and you're always going to the neighbor house. I mean, I know you know this. Like you go to the neighbor house. Neighbor doesn't want you to go there, but you know, you don't care. You just go there. You like him so much. You want to spend all the sports like channels, discuss stuff about life. And after some time, the neighbors start liking you. Okay, and then you build a wiring around this tunnel. So you have a tunnel, you are putting a wiring around the tunnel, insulation around the tunnel. Why? Because you want to communicate with all the time, and you don't want the person who's coming for tree trimming or maintenance or something to accidentally, you know, break this tunnel. The same way, what brain does is, brain will create something called a myelin sheath, which is basically a membrane to speed up the communication between you and your neighbor. So this neuron, another neuron, they love each other so much. They're like, oh, kissy, kissy, kissy. And they really love each other. And this brain is like, they are totally connected to each other. Let's myelinate them. And what happens next is fascinating. What happens next is, like, imagine this was the connection between the two neurons. Ah, my goodness. It's like a lot of mud puddle and everything. My goodness, I'm not happy about this. That was the case, but after myelination, it becomes this. It becomes 30 times faster. 30 times faster. In other words, 3000% faster. So which means these two neurons start communicating each other. Now, I'll tell you why this is affecting you and your life without you even knowing about it. Some habits that you want to break, some things that you went through, some behaviors that you have, some emotions that you have, some challenges that you face, some things that you did. No matter what happens, it's not breaking through. One of the reasons is this. This is the thing that you're trying to do. That is the thing that is already there. How are you going to win this game? That's why you need to study this. Make sense? You got it? Is it clear so far? If it's clear, say yes in the chat comment. Yeah? Yes. Okay? This was original connection to dumpster connection. This is like 30 highway connection. So that's the second term. But here is a fascinating thing. The fascinating thing about neuron is, when Coca-Cola, this is an interesting simple example, when Coca-Cola came in as the first soft drink thing in the market, it got a lot of branding. And then Pepsi came. No matter what Pepsi does, probably even for next decade, it's highly unlikely Pepsi will not be able to break through and go ahead in terms of revenue with Coke. Coke will always be the leader, more than likely, unless they mess up something. People die because of drinking Coke or something, which they die obviously, but you know, it's a slow death, so people don't figure out that. So unless they instantly die, Coke, Pepsi. You got it? Very easy, right? The same thing happens to neurons too. So imagine the first part of the brain, which is the brainstem, came first. So we have to regulate the body. Yes, we have to regulate the body. Snakes have to regulate the body. Rabbit has to regulate the body. Fox has to regulate the body. Lion has to regulate the body. Monkeys have to regulate the body. Humans have to regulate the body. They became synaptically connected. So much, 10,000 plus. And since they are communicating to each other so much, what else also happened? Myelination also happened, which means the lower part of your brain, including your brainstem and the limbic system, the neocortex, have more connections and more synaptic connections, as well as what? As well as what? More myelination in those neurons. Because of that, the will that we have, the imagination that we have, the dream that we have, the manifestation that we are trying to achieve is not getting achieved. Why? Because those are weak people. They're like this. The back brain is like this. Front brain is like this. The back brain is like this. Front brain is like this. Are you getting it? You know why? It is extremely challenging for most people, not for you, to get to the next level. So this is the Instagram metaphor. I'll give you another example. Imagine that when Instagram started, you started an Instagram account. Other people started following you. And more people started following you. And you have 13,000 followers. And you are that tiny brainstem or limbic system neuron, mostly brainstem neuron. And because you started Instagram, and because you started early, you have 13,000 followers. But after some time, this tiny part, the evolution, this is scientifically proven, brainstem developed, and then limbic system developed, then the neocortex, which is the back part of the brain, developed, and then the front area developed. By the time the front area came in, Instagram had enough people, nobody's following them. It's only 1,000, 2,000, up to sometimes 5,000 followers system. So the backside got more followers and more myelination. You got it? Yes? Good. So again, we are going to spend deeper. First of all, are these exciting stuff or what? Are they groundbreaking discoveries or what? Let me know. Yeah? You can sense that? Okay. So curious. Put curious in the chat. Curious in the comment. So this way I know that you are curious and you are a person. You're not just a person who just listen to stuff and just go to sleep and then watch cat videos and do nothing about it, versus you're somebody who does it. So if you're somebody who does stuff, put in the chat. Curious. All right. So same thing happened for myelination. First come first myelination. So which means you met your high school girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, and then those high school friends or college friends are your best friends almost forever, because you first saw them, you connected with them, and they are your best friends most of the time. Makes sense? That's how myelination is working too. So this tiny brain, so this area has around 10, 12,000, approximately 10,000, and then as we go forward, it's weaker. This is why you don't have enough willpower when you want to do stuff. This is why you're feeling emotions that you don't want to feel emotions. And keep in mind, there is another term that I'm going to share with you. By the way, although it feels like this is advanced neurology, you're getting really cool in like neurology as well. But it's so easy, right? If it's easy, put easy in the chat. It's like easy stuff. You could understand it clearly, right? Okay. So as we progress, the network of neuron is getting weaker. The social media followers is lesser. Also, the myelination is lesser. And then we have, I told you, there is a part of the body that has 40,000 neurons, same as what you have in your brain. That is heart. And heart has very unique capabilities when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to helping you break through and move to the next destiny. Gut brain. Gut brain is like compared to heart, it's a really big brain. Okay, so it has 100 million neurons, 1/1000 of head. So the whole cell, 100 trillion. 1/1000 in the head. 1/1000 of that is in gut. 1/2000 of that is in your heart, or maybe lesser than that in your heart. So body cells, brain cells, gut cells, and then heart cells. The number is less. Number doesn't matter because there are certain factors. There is something called vagus nerve, and vagus nerve, how it influences your brain is fascinating because this gut brain has more control on your head brain, which has like 1,000 times more capacity. It can influence it more than the brain influencing the heart, the gut brain. So in other words, the gut brain is more powerful than your head brain in certain aspects. In terms of authority, it has more authority to dictate what it's feeling. So understand that. So I want to share like two different, this is going to be cool stuff, okay? Two different interesting stuff. This is cool stuff, right? Party neurons. Party neurons. What is a party neurons? Like, just want to celebrate, okay? Party neurons. There are two types of neurons because you really need to understand this dynamics. You really need to understand these party neurons. Party neurons, like in Hindi, we say Aish karanga aur kya. You just want to dance, right? You just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to relax. I just want to be excited. That is called excitatory neuron. Excitatory neurons. They excite. The excitement, it's not excitement. It's like they're fired. Like the chemical comes in, electricity comes in, they're like, I'm very excited, right? So that is excitatory neuron. And then they're like, they just want to play all the time. So these excitatory neurons, their primary function is like activation, firing. They're like, Opposite neuron is a non-neuron. Non-neuron. Okay? So it's like, just what? Let me pray for 3 minutes for all the nuns, all the priests, and all the bishops. This is a non-neuron. They're like calm. They're called inhibitory neurons. They just inhibit stuff, right? They just want to relax, guys. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. You know what? Let's calm down. Life is not about all this fun and like, excitement and everything. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. So excitatory neurons, non-neurons, inhibitory neurons, two types of neurons. And the interesting thing is, the back part of your brain is using more of the excitatory neurons. Meaning, when you feel happy, generally speaking, the happiness is coming, is an excitement, is meaning excited, something is fired, right? Something is fired. And the front area's brain is like, okay, you don't need to be happy about it. It's fine, it's no big deal, yeah? Relax, okay? Why you're like so? It's inhibitory neuron. So these neurons are in fight with each other. I'll share that with you in a second. Okay, that's a concept called Kurukshetra. People who are in US, you might not understand this. This is based on epic of Krishna, and there is this epic battle between Kauravas and Pandavas. So Kaurava are, in the plot, at least, they're like kind of bad people. They did like bad stuff. And then Krishna is supporting Arjun to fight as a Pandava, the good guys, helping Pandavas win this war, right? And in that journey, we talk about the epic fight between darkness and light. It's a beautiful metaphor. It's a beautiful metaphor. And if you read John Milton's like Paradise Lost, it talks about in a Christian, Judeo, Islamic original tradition. It's like angels are fighting with each other. And Lucifer, the head of the angel, was like so mad that God is going to create humans. Lucifer is like, I don't like this. Me no like. So Lucifer was falling down from heaven and becomes evil, devil. So this epic mythology, which is beautiful, and embrace them, it's so beautiful, mythologies originated from this conflict between this nun and this party neuron. This is why we feel internally that we are fighting with ourselves. The nun is fighting with the party girl. So in other words, the epic fight in Kurukshetra is internal. The epic fight of Lucifer and the Michael is internal. The metaphors that we learned are true and beautiful. At the same time, those metaphors leads you to finding your own inner conflict. There's only one fight. There's only one world war that is within you. You don't see it. You never saw it. And I would like you to embrace and understand this so that you could be free from that war. Once and for all. Done. Over with. No more self-help. No more seeking. No more understanding. No more like, oh my gosh, I'm not enough. Oh, I have to fix myself. There's nothing to be fixed. And share that more about that soon. So keep paying attention to all these details. There are a lot of details. Sometimes, this is like drinking from a fire hose. Fire hose will be difficult, right? This is like drinking from a fire hose. So how do you drink from a fire hose? Drink what you can, but pay close attention. Otherwise, your face might go like that, right? So just figure out a way to put a straw below the fire hose water and then start drinking from the fire hose. 1 straw, 2 straw, 3, 20, 100 straw, as much as you can drink. So hyperactive limbic system. So hyperactive limbic system means that people, if themselves have gone through abusive parent relationship, so if they were going through really unstable parental relationships, their limbic system is more active. Limbic system is more active. So there is a tiny part in limbic system called amygdala, which is bigger in people who went through that. Not only that, if their parents went through an experience of abuse, or their parents went through an experience of abuse, or their parents went through that, from generation to generation, we are passing on amygdalas. Like the great granddad is like, my granddad's name was Zacharias. And he's like, okay, Ruble, I just want to give you this gift. It's a large amygdala. And it's given to my mom. And then my mom is like, son, I just want to give you the greatest possession that we ever have, which is a large amygdala. And then it's handed over from generation to generation, creating this heavy imbalance of excitatory neurons and the frontal area of the brain. No matter what it doesn't have enough inhibitory neurons to handle this complexity. Mike Tyson takes a bite. He's in a fight, in a boxing fight. I think it's Holyfield. And he got so mad. He's like, ah! And he bite the ear of the opponent and takes it out. And he spits it out. Take another person's ear and bite it and take it out. It's called an amygdala hijack. So what it means is the lower part of the brain is like hijacking you. It's hijacking you so much that your front part of the brain cannot even function. Some people say, turn off the front area of your brain. I don't believe in that. Nobody can turn off the front area of your brain, but it suppresses the front area of your brain. So the Kurukshetra, the Paradise Lost, the Lucifer-Michael fight is between, metaphorically speaking, it's more complex than this. I'm going to simplify this. Between your limbic system and your prefrontal cortex. Prefrontal cortex is like, hey, calm down, pal. The nun. The party girl is like, hey, party in the USA, right? So this is a downstairs brain and the top brain. The downstairs brain is like fight or flight, the base stuff, thing, downstairs brain. The upstairs brain is like thinking, relaxing, and imagining and creating. So this is, you could see this, the front area of the brain as a nun-brain. Is that clear? Which is the which one? Inhibitory neuron. This one is what? Oh, I could see her legs. Okay, distracting me. Okay, so excitatory neurons. So this is like party, this is like inhibition. Now the fight, who wins always? She wins always, most of the time. It's not because of evil spirit. It's because your brain is wired this way. Nobody understood this until now. Nobody understood this until now. You understand this? You are about to be free. Let's move on. There's more to talk. Isn't it already exciting? Yeah, so cool. Yes. Okay. I'm going to spend a lot of time on that and exploring deeper into the dynamics of the conflict between the excitatory and inhibitory neurons. And this is straight from my next book, actually. So you're learning a lot of things ahead of time from my next book that I'm writing. I'm supposed to be writing. Don't tell anybody. I'm not writing as much, but hopefully in this process, I'm writing. So I would like you to understand a couple of more concepts really deeply so that you have all the foundation. It's 80-90% done. Now we need to do the last 10%. Yeah, you are ready. You stayed until this time. This is like fabulous. You are a committed person. You're a curious person. You are willing to do whatever it takes to move to the next level. That's why I'm going to share a couple of details, and then we could see you again in our next conversation. Memory. So I have this term that kind of use a lot called memory is remembrance. What does that mean? What it means is your memory is agile. Agile meaning that your memory is what you remember the last time. So imagine I took you to Niagara Falls. This is from the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. And I took you to Niagara Falls in this boat. And then I took you like when you were 3 years old. And I took your sister too. If you don't have a sister, one of your cousins, sister, brother. And you went there. Your subjective experience of that might be completely different than your sister. The sister's perception could be completely different. She might have, oh, I did this, I had a great time. You may be like, I had a horrible time. The water splashed my face. Oh, my ear was like aching. I had earache for the next 7 days. Could be completely imaginary, but somebody might have told you you had earache when you went to Niagara Falls, and it could be their wrong memory. You keep on hearing that, it becomes your memory. That's why memory is what? Remembrance. Memory is remembrance, which means what you remember is what your memory. This is one of the biggest mistakes, if I may say, modern psychology caused humans. Like you go to, not all the therapists, but some therapists tell the therapist, oh, my dad was not very nice to me. It's like, okay, so did dad, like it's a girl, dad stay next to you when you're taking bath or something? And they're like, maybe, yeah, possibly. Did he touch you or something? Yeah, I think he might have touched. Okay. Did he touch you some inappropriate? Like, yeah, I think so. And then all of a sudden, they develop a memory of dad abusing with dad, like did nothing probably. And then all of a sudden, a new problem is created. This was a challenge with the Freudian early psychological situation. It just changed after Martin Seligman, became the head of American Psychological Association. He changed the model from a sickness model, like the psychology was until 2000 around, was all about finding what's wrong with you. And somebody asked Freud, like, hey, if we find somebody with no problem to solve, what do we do, Mr. Freud? And he said, yeah, we will break him and fix him. So, in other words, the entire genre of psychology, the entire science of psychology was focused on illness until around 2000. And that's nothing wrong with that. That's how they thought about it. That's the only way they could think about it. Now what I'm saying is, I would like us to start seeing life more beautifully. Why Western world has more need for therapy, and why Western world have more depression and anxiety than the Eastern world. We abuse our parents abused us too, in a sense. My parents did not, but I see like the craziest things happen in India too. Like I was born in India, so I have seen the worst things happen in India, and they seem to be fine, a lot of people. Why? Because it is not re-remembered into a complex story as much. I mean, I have deep empathy for anybody who's going through a really challenging thing in your life. So I'm not underestimating your problem. I am trying to help you break out of it. In other words, there are so many sociological factors. One of the reasons is like we have a very structured family where you have only dad and mom, and then the relationship is structured only between dad and mom and you. And because of that, if your relationship with one of them was disrupted, your life felt disrupted. But in India, like I have seen, people are connected to their grandparents. If the dad is like mad, then they are connected to the brother, to the sister, the cousin, the neighbor, the thing. So they have a system in Asian societies. They have a system to handle these automatically. I'm not saying there are no problems in Asia. There are problems in Asia. But what I'm saying is, it is significantly more highlighted. Everyone is going through like deep trauma all the time. I'm sorry, but that is the reality, right? It doesn't have to be that complex. Memory is remembrance. Please don't allow the drama of the psychologist to let it control you. Don't let it control you. If real thing happened to you, please take care of. Therapy is amazing. Use it. There are amazing therapists that I taught. Like there are people who studied from me personally. There are so many people who did not and who are truly amazing, and you could use them, and they are amazing. So I just want to acknowledge all the amazing work you guys therapists are doing. Something that I cannot do. So I appreciate that, but I'm talking about the history of what happened. So the memory is remembrance, which means if you have crappy memory, what does that mean? It means you are crappy rememberer. You are remembering crappy things. Stop it. Okay? It's time to stop. Okay? Stop remembering crappy stuff. This is true for, like I said, childhood. One parent will be like parents who are like really loving to people. But one child feels like, oh, I was a princess. Other feels like, nobody treated me good. Like, oh, they were always mean to me. Oh, I don't know what. Like my life is spoiled because of them. You're an adult. Let's figure it out together right here. Stay with me on this one, okay? Please don't go away because I said this. Okay? I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to help you to break out of this cup and expand your cup so that you could move to the next level. And again, we will be going so much deeper into this stuff. But one final point I need to make. And then I have a few more other suggestions, and then we will conclude. We are ready, right? Okay, you ready? Good. So there is one idea called memory consolidation. It's just very simple. You have this house, okay, neural house. In this house, like there are like plants and trees and stuff like that. And then you have to have a tree trimmer come and cut the tree. But it's not efficient for you to cut it at daytime. So you told the tree trimmer, when I'm sleeping, come and cut the tree. Cut the tree, like trim the tree, not cut the tree, trim the tree branches. So the guy, the tree trimmer will come at night. It's like, cut it. And he will cut it and he'll go home. Next day morning, you do everything good, but the tree is growing so much. They are coming next night, again cutting it. Daytime, everything is fine. Next night, it's growing. The tree is growing so fast. What do? I have to have space. I don't have space for my house and my land. I mean, I don't have space for my fruit trees. So the tree trimmer is coming every night to trim the trees. The same way, your brain is trimming a lot of synaptic connections at night. So what you remember today, if you keep on remembering and remembering and remembering and remembering and remembering and remembering the same things, then after some time, your brain cannot handle anything. It's going to be a big problem, right? So that is why it has to forget some stuff. That's why it is saved in the random access memory. Every computer has something called RAM. You might see that in a laptop, RAM, 32 GB, 16 GB, 8 GB, 4 GB, 1 GB, like that, sometimes 64. So like that, the memory is saved. Whatever memory is coming in, it is saved in a place called hippocampus in limbic system. it is used for like short time, and then it's forgotten. And why is it so important? I'll tell you in a second. Like this is all connected to your destiny, because this is how you lay the absolute foundation, like I said, to build your 100-story destiny complex, right? So this thing, like this part, which is limbic system, in that hippocampus saves this for short term. And in that short term thing, every night, it's like, okay, is this important for him? The tree trimmer comes at night. I don't know. Okay, then trim. Okay, then it's trimmed. It's done. You don't remember it anymore. Is this important? How about this one? Important? Yeah, that is important. Okay, then let's save that to long-term memory. And long-term memory process is it's a extensive process, but oversimplified, it moves to the top, called cortical. Like so, it is moved from hippocampus into neocortex, slightly above that, and in there it is saved for long term. So it becomes a long-term memory. Long-term memory processing slightly more complex, but I'm giving you a simple idea. That is why this is also called cortical consolidation. So it's trying to use up the brain more efficiently, so it's forgetting. You try to visualize something. One day, you're like, oh, I want to have this. And then you are not doing it next day. The brain is like, I don't think it's important for him. Cut, trim, gone. You think about a traumatic situation every day, every evening. Oh my gosh, why did they do this to me? Gosh. This brain arranges it, organizes it into the cortical, and you could keep on remembering your trauma. Memory is remembrance. Memory is nothing but remembrance. And we need to figure out a way to handle the manifested memory, the destiny memory, as if it's a normal thing that happened in your past, in order for you to claim your highest destiny. So for that, you need to change neural habits. Neural habits. Neural habits are not your regular habits. These are not the regular habits that you do. Like, for example, you brush your teeth, you do this thing. That's not what I'm talking about. The exercise, no. Imagine these are tiny neurons. These kids are tiny neurons. These neurons are like, I want to fire. I want to suppress. I want to inhibit. I want excitement. I want to control this. I keep on having habits. So neurons have habits, especially the lower end of the part of the neuron, which is predominantly occupied with thick, dense in the back part of your brain. Those neurons have habits. And those habits are creating two things. What are the two things that these neural habits create? So in other words, remember the beginning neurons, don't forget them, okay? They came into Instagram really fast. They have 13,000 connections, sometimes 10,000, sometimes more, around 13, sometimes 8,000. They're so connected. They're connected to so many people on social media. And because they are connected to so many people, they're myelinated. They have so much connection. And they are remembering stuff. And they are remembering more of those things. And it has a habit, and it creates a Play-Doh called thoughts and emotions. Two things. It creates thoughts in your mind. These neural connections, predominantly on the back area of your brain. Now, this is all making sense to you. Why we shared all these foundations, so that you could understand what we are talking about. So, end product is thoughts and emotions. So we have thoughts that are generated in our mind. Those thoughts in turn create these chemicals, neurochemicals, and hormones, so that you could feel a certain emotion. So the output of neural habits is, what is a habit of a neuron? That's a habit. Like, Thomas habit, what is a habit of a Thomas? Of Thomas, like Thomas habit. So same way, neuron habit is, what is a habit of neuron? What does a neuron do? It's doing certain connections, it's activating some excitement, it's staying frustrated for a long time, and then it's creating some frustrating thoughts, and then it creates an emotion called frustration. The body, the subconscious, and the mind. Mind is filled with negative thoughts and then emotions. And you read thousands of books, you went to seminars, you did this thing, you did that thing. Nothing works. Kind of works sometimes, sometimes no, not. Ultimately, it didn't serve you. You still feel like crap most of the time. Not you, some people. But some people actually do. So, why? Because thoughts are the outcome. Emotions are the outcome of neural habits. So, with all this background information, you have built a mind, a section of a mind. If I were to take your section of a mind right now and cut it off, take it out, I call it a new vocabulary, Psychome. So we already said two new vocabularies, right? Psychome. What does Psychome mean? Psychome is the current instance of your mind. The way you process information, flow of information, energy, this moment. That's what Psychome is. So which means Psychome is how your neural habits are translated into emotions and thoughts, and the way you process information and energy, just like the TSA agent, remember? They were processing people are like, oh, okay, move this thing, move the water, okay, good. Take out the toothpaste. You smell anyway. Why are you brush your teeth? Okay, go, anyway, go. And that is the TSA agent. Your TSA agent, custom TSA agent, for this instance, is called Psychome. And Psychome, in just next, I'm going to cover a lot into how to change your Psychome to change your destiny. I didn't say you need to change. You don't need to change. You just need to change your Psychome to change your destiny. And this is the picture of my last 25 years of work. Basically, it has everything, right? So Psychome, and in Destiny X, I'm going to go through each of them. Through this series, I'm going to go through each of them, okay? And, for me to explain all of this, it will take me probably 100, 200 years. Yes, 100, 200 hours. Probably 100, 200 years. Which one we'll figure out. But I'm going to crush that into summaries and give you the essence of it so that you finally can claim your highest destiny. So I call it in 7 layers: identities and shadows, who you are and who you are not. Blessing stories, the stories that empower you. Curse stories, the stories that pull you back. And again, I'll go through each of them, okay? So please don't think that, oh my gosh, he's going so fast here. It's okay, I'll go through each of them. I just want you to understand, have the solid foundation so that we could lay like concrete into this and start building pillars and columns so that we could build, you and I could build a solid 100-story building. Blessing belief, the beliefs that bless you. Curse beliefs, the one that pull you back. Blessing values, curse values. Spiritual needs and psychological drives. Super habits, habits that empower you. Curse habits, blessing emotions and curse emotions, and the 7 principles that guide all of this. So this is our complete journey that we are going to go through each one of them. But before we go forward into this deeper journey with the new series, I would like you to find out where you are in your Psychome. So Psychome is a no word, not psycho. It's Psychome, okay. Psychome, okay, with an Z, with a Z in American. Okay, so where are you right now? Let's find out. So we are going to take a Psychome inventory. Before we change the destiny, in order for you to change your destiny, you need to change your Psychome. Psychome is the output of all of this. I didn't cover all the neurology. I wanted to make sure that it's enough for you, not too much, not too little. It's challenging, I know. It was challenging. You went through a lot of journey. Beautiful job. By the way, all the neurology work is done for this session. Great job. Give yourself like a thumbs up and 100%, 100 out of 100 score for this. Because you did good. You stayed until here. Because if you stayed until here, you clearly got it, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't stay here. This is not This was not easy stuff, right? You mastered it. Yeah, good job, great job. Okay, so Psychome inventory is basically, if you change your Psychome, you change your destiny. If you change your Psychome, you change your destiny. You don't need to change, just need to change your Psychome. So first we need to find out where we are, right? Let's find out right now. The 7 things that I'm looking for. Identities. Write down. What are the 7 words? Let's make it easy. What are the 3 words that define you? What are the 3 words that define you today? Write it down. What are the 3 words that actually define you today? I'm not asking about the words that you want to be defined by. That's aspiration. Where are you right now? Let's be honest. Let's open the hood. Look at it. Okay? Okay. What are the 3 words that describe you? Write it down right now. And you don't need to necessarily put that in the chat. If people who are in the studio with me, yes, put that in the chat. I want to read it. What are the 3 words that describe you today? Okay. Good. Find the last word. 10 more seconds. What are the 3 words that describe you today? Beautiful. Now, to the opposite. What are the 3 words that you never, ever want to be described by? What are the 3 words that you never, ever want to be described by? Go for it. I don't want anybody to call me a liar. Oh, I like it occasionally, but I don't want anybody to find out. What are the 3 words that you never, ever want to be described by? Next question. If you change your Psychome, you change your life. You change your destiny. You don't need to change. This is not you. It's a construct of you. It's a false construct of you. If you change that false concept of you, you become free. And we will do that together. And this is going to be the most important journey of your life. Believe it or not. I know you believe that. Second one, what is a story that helps you move forward? What is a metaphor or a story that moves you forward? What is a metaphor or a story that moves you forward? What is a story that is pulling you forward? A story, an analogy, or a metaphor that pulls you forward in life? What is a story that pulls you forward, that inspire you, that motivate you without a motivational speaker? What is a story? Write 3 words of it. You don't need to write the whole story. This is not like, we are not trying to be Tolstoy and create the whole War and Peace here, right? So what are the 3 words that define the story of your blessing? What is the blessing story that you have? Write it out. Are you doing it, by the way? Okay, if you're sleeping, it's time to wake up and do it, okay? I know I'm very, very soothing and stuff like that, but don't get me mad, okay? Please do it now. Okay, next one. What are the stories that are pulling you back? What is one story that is pulling you back? One story about your life. One story about your something. One story somebody might have told you. Your dad, grandparents might have told you. Like the astrologers must have told you. One story that is pulling you back. What is one story that is pulling you back? 3 words. Write it out right now. One story that is limiting you. This is not you, I know. Write it anyway, because we need to look at the mirror and see you for the first time. So let's change this story over the next few months. And in the process, claim your highest destiny. What is a story that is pulling you back? 3 words. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Third thing. What is a belief about you or the world or anything that is empowering you? What is a blessing belief of your life? A belief that is blessing you to move forward. What is a belief that is blessing you to focus on your dream. What is a belief that is blessing you? What do you believe about yourself that is helping you dream? What is a belief about yourself that helping you to not give up no matter what? What is the belief about the world that is empowering you, that is persuading you, inspiring you to take action? What is the belief that is helping you? Now, by the way, please write this, because we are writing our inventory. We are creating our inventory. In order to, when I work with businesses, in order to create cash flow, I need to know where they are standing. I need to know where they're struggling. Like, I work with businesses beyond $100 million, and I need to know really what is going on with them in order to move to the next level. But most of the time, the problem might not be in the papers. Even for big businesses, it might be inside of them. It might be right here. That's why we need to do a Psychome inventory. What is the belief that is pulling you back right now? Let's be honest and open. Let's bring it to the front. We're not judging you. I'm not judging you. You're not judging you either. Look at it. What is a belief that you have that is pulling you backward? What is a belief? What is a curse belief in your life? What stops you from taking action? What stops you from going all in? What stops you from smiling? What stops you from experiencing joy? What belief is stopping you? 3 words. And you could expand it later. And if you're listening to this in a video, pause it, do this, take as much time you need. What belief is pulling you back? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is most important for you in life? What are the 3 words that are most important for you in life? Write down 3 words that are most important for you in your life. So what is most important in your life? What is the most important thing in your life? Car. If you're saying car, then car is not an end value. It's a means value. What does car give you? And if you wrote money, money is a means value too. It's not a value. And I'll go deep into values and things like that. Remember, we are finishing laying the foundation right now. So cool, right? Our 100% neurology work is done. Psychology initial work is done for today. We're just understanding where we are as a Psychome so that we could calibrate to 10 Oransa easily, effortlessly, naturally. Okay. So for finding the value, ask a question. What is most important in your life? Number 1. What else is most important in your life? And what else is most important in your life? Find 3 end values. I want to go on a vacation. Vacation is not a end value. It's a means value. What does vacation give you? Means value. It's not enough. You need to find an end value. Now, what do you want to avoid the most in life? Let's go to the opposite. What do you want to avoid the most in life today? Don't try to pretend. I mean, it's not for me. Please don't come up with imaginary things for the future. Don't be too optimistic. Don't be too pessimistic either. Be honest to yourself. Write down whatever is going on in your head. What do you want to avoid the most in life? What else do you want to avoid the most in life? What drives you? What wakes you up in the morning? What drives you forward? What is the one thing that drives you to dream, that help you to believe in yourself? What drives you? What drives you right now? Find a word. What drives you forward? What inspires you? What's the one word? If you were to take one word, what is driving you? Are you driven by significance? Are you driven by love? Are you driven by excitement? Are you driven by freedom? Are you driven by creativity? Or are you driven by structure? What are you driven by? This is 3 hours of journey, minimum, that itself. Because you need to understand all of this to fix all of this so you could free and break through to the next level. Finally, last 2 points, habits. What are the habits that are helping you move forward? What are your blessing habits? What are your blessing habits? What habits are keeping you in your track? What habits are helping you to move forward, to claim better destiny? What are the habits helping you dream about a bigger future, even if it hasn't arrived yet? What are the habits? Maybe emotional habits. What are the habits that are helping you move forward in life? Write one thing, one habit. Good? And first habit. What is one habit that is hurting you the most? This is part of the Psychome. Psychome is the cross-sectional blueprint of your mind, the TSA agent within you that regulates the flow of information and energy within you based on the neurological biases. Because the fastest Instagram joining neurons have more myelination and more synaptic connections. So you already are not winning the battle. That is why you should definitely do this. That's why you're committed in completing this journey with me. Yeah. If you're absolutely committed in completing this entire Destiny X journey with me, put that in the chat. Committed. Period. Put a dot at the end. Committed. Period. Yeah. Okay. What is one habit that is pulling you back? Maybe it's inconsistency. Let's find out. If it's inconsistency, this is how you fix it. You show up for the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and for the next one, and the next one. What is pulling you backward? What habit is pulling you backward? And finally, what is the emotion that is freeing you? What is an emotion that you feel most of the time that is empowering you? What is a blessing emotion? What is the emotion that is blessing you? What do you feel when you feel good? What is a positive emotion that you feel a lot of times? You got it. Okay, good. Finally, we got it. We got it. What is one negative emotion, disempowering emotion that you feel most of the time? When you feel depressed, when you feel stressed, when you feel sad, when you feel anxious, which we all humans do, what is one emotion that you feel when you're low? When you're low, what is one emotion that you feel? Yeah, write it down. If you did it honestly, this is your cycle. This is where you are today. This is the outcome of an entirely complicated neurological process between the back of the brain, the heart brain, the gut brain, the limbic system, the brainstem, the neocortex and the prefrontal cortex, and so on and so forth. There are so many other places involved. I'll talk about habenula in the future session. I'll talk about nucleus accumbens and how it influences dopamine system to create happiness and reducing happiness. I'll talk about like so many other factors that are stopping you from feeling fulfilled and helping you break through to the next level. Did you have a really good at yourself right now? Do you see the Kurukshetra, the fight of the dark and the light, the Michael and the Lucifer? Can you see that fight? Because it's conflicted. It's conflicted. And once we resolve this conflict, you're free. You're ready to be free? Put that in the chat. Free at last. So here is one final point that I wanted to make before we conclude, is that imagine we invented a Mercedes S550. This is a beautiful car. S550 it's a sedan. It's a beautiful big Mercedes, and they have beautiful cars. And if you imagine a black Mercedes that we created 75,000 years ago. 75,000 years ago, we created it. And we call it Mercedes PFC. This is the name. Mercedes PFC. PFC stands for prefrontal cortex. The front area of your brain did not develop 3 years ago. It developed 70 to 75,000 years ago. Put that in the chat. Write it out so that your brain really understand that. 75,000 years ago. That is like 73,000 before Christ. So your prefrontal cortex developed that long ago. Okay, 72,500 years before Aristotle. Okay, 65,000 years before farming started. 75,000 years ago, your prefrontal cortex was developed. And today, we humans have a prefrontal cortex and everything is fine. It's beautiful electric Mercedes, like everything is good. Electric, every facility is there. The engine is there, everything is there. We don't start it though. We just want to use the hose to carry it. Why waste the oil and the gas? I want to save nature. So, of course I want to save the nature. So the hose can carry it. So you have the most advanced, sophisticated technology ever developed, that ever will be developed in the whole planet Earth, and possibly in the entire universe. And we are too smart. We just pull it with a hose. Allow it to sink in. Most advanced technology, we use hose to pull it. We don't use it. And then we not only not use that, and we haven't figured out how to use that 75,000 years ago. We have an iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 16 or 17. iPhone 1 was 17 probably years ago, 15 years ago. Microsoft DOS, if you're even old enough to remember that, probably 25 years ago, or more than that, 30 years ago, or more. But we have developed a prefrontal cortex through creation evolution. If you believe in God, God created the cell to be self-evolving so that we could evolve into who we are today. I believe in God. It's magnificent. And God created this universe in a way, it's transcending, it's moving, it's progressing in its design like a self-learning AI or a machine learning AI. We developed this thing, and then we are just sitting around. We're like, oh, why we act like monkeys? We don't know. Let's figure out. Let's ask the horse to go a little bit slower so we could think. So we don't get out of the frame. We don't get out of the original frame. We are stuck in the frame that we already possess. We don't think outside the box because there is one box outside that box and still another box outside of the box. One could be biological imprint, another could be cultural imprint, another could be psychological imprint, and we are just sleeping. And if anybody tried to wake up, sometimes we stab them, sometimes we shoot them, sometimes we're like, what the heck? What's your business? Why? Let me just go to sleep. Here's the thing. I am waking you up with what we call as jalebi in India. Jalebi is like one of the tasty sweets in India. I'm here to offer you jalebi, which could be money, which could be health, which could be love, which could be finding your highest destiny, which could be living a fulfilled life. Whatever that is for you, I want to offer you that jalebi. And then when you eat that jalebi, you have a sugar high. That sugar high is going to last forever, not just for half an hour. It's going to last forever. This is the new jalebi, which is, look it up if you don't know what jalebi is. This is jalebi that I want to offer you, the jalebi of the prefrontal cortex that you have been carrying for 30, 40, 50, 70 years. Are you going to use it? Are we going to use it? On the opposite side, this prefrontal cortex is pulled back by the horse of amygdala, by the limbic system, which I understand, which is not within your control as much. But it's pulled back and pulled forward. It's going nowhere. And then we say we are stuck. Oh, Dustin, I don't know. Life is horrible. What can I do? It's my parents' fault. Let me go talk to somebody. How come my life is like that? It's pulling forward, pulling backward. We're stuck in the middle. So this invitation, this journey, this Destiny X journey is all about finding and refining and using your prefrontal cortex. Whatever miracles happen in this world, you could be that miracle too. When you're doing a couple of things, which I'm going to share with you, and then we are going to conclude this conversation, which is understand this final metaphor of bridge versus brick. Understand that every bridge is built with tiny, 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 tiny bricks. And if you have 99.9% of the bricks done, it's still not transporting vehicles. You cannot take a car with, oh, I have 99.99% of the bricks done. Okay, so can I take my car? Oh, no, you cannot, because it's going to fall down. So you need to understand that we were strapped into this brick versus bridge metaphor until now, using bricks to build a bridge. This is so true when it comes to skill. When you want to public speaking, when you want to learn public speaking, or when you want to grow a business, when you want to learn to sell, when you want to market, yes, you need to build a bridge. But in this case, this bridge is already built for you. You don't see it. You just need to open your eyes and see the bridge for the first time. Open your eyes and see the bridge for the first time. One, the body, the bridge. It feels like it's broken. It feels like it's broken because it has so many chemicals playing around, like the neurotransmitters and the hormones and all other stuff. It feels like it's broken. But surprise, it is not broken. There is no bridge that needs to be fixed. It is complete. It's complete by divine. But it's stuck in, you got it, emotions. The emotions from the past. Past of you, past of your parents, past of your grandparents, past of life itself. Because we survived as a species. Human, animal, life, it was always looking for survival. The fittest survived through fight or flight. And because we survived through fight or flight, we developed that part of the brain so much that we didn't even know that we had this Mercedes 550 built, S550 built. We didn't even pay attention to that. We just started following the Instagram from the past, the limbic brain, the brainstem brain, and that's it. And because of that, we are producing same neural habits, and that in turn is producing same thoughts and same emotions, and we are stuck in that. I want to introduce a new vocabulary as we are about to conclude, which is emotioning. I want you to emotion. I want you to practice the present tense of emotion. Emotioning. It's another vocabulary. I want you to build the skill of emotioning. Through joy, you build joy with the two recipe of gratitude and love. And you also love somebody. Somebody loves you. There are so many things that you could be grateful for, including this conversation. Because this is your wake-up call. With the jalebi. Jalebi is so sweet. Look it up. For you to take on bigger opportunities. Because your God, your universe that created you, it has a bigger dream for you than you dream yourself. It has a bigger dream than your wildest dreams. You just need to show up. You just need to emotion. Build the skill bridge of emotioning. It's already ready. You just need to experience it. Experience the future that hasn't been built yet. and getting out of this constant gravitational pull towards the back of the brain. Same thing. And we will go much, much deeper into all of this concept, especially this one. And now, finally, mind the bridge. The bridge, again, feels broken. I feel like one person today, another person tomorrow. Another person day after tomorrow. I don't know what is going on. It's not broken either. The mind bridge is built. It's complete too. The only thing is, the psychome is limiting you from seeing this bridge, the complete, because of relentless thinking. Stop thinking for a second. Can you stop thinking for a second? Relentless thinking is keeping and rebuilding the programmed mind from the culture, from civilization, from fight and flight, from life, beginning of life, from the plant, from the single cell bacteria to the mammals. Everything, we just need to survive. Let's continue thinking. And thinking, relentless thinking, is recreating the same neural habits again and again. And it creating the same movie again and again. So can you be grateful for this moment right now? Not just right now. It might be easy right now. For the next 24 hours, and the next 24 hours, and the next 30 days. It's just the beginning of a really deep journey that we are going together. In this journey, there are so many sightseeing, so many amazing things. Can you feel successful right now? Knowing that you're unbroken in your body and in your mind. Can you feel proud of what you have already accomplished? Can you feel it? If so, there is a spark of emotioning. Can you make that spark, convert that into wildfire that consumes you until your psychome really disappears and you show up? And that is Destiny X. You show up. You come back. You come back. And as we do this, you move from fragile, of broken, to resilient, to anti-fragile. Something that cannot be broken. Something that is anti-fragile. Put that in the chat. Anti-fragile. In other words, unbroken. There's nothing broken in you. There's nothing that needs fixing. There's nothing that is fighting against you. There's nothing that is stopping you from moving forward. There's nobody that can stop you. Victor Hugo said, no one can stop an idea whose time has come. You are that sperm and that egg whose time has come 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. You're here. No one can stop you, the idea whose time has come. You are unbroken. And the fundamental premise of Destiny X is humans are unbroken. But the mirror that we look to see ourselves is broken. The fundamental theme of Destiny X is that we humans are unbroken. But the mirror that we look to see ourselves is broken. Psychome is that mirror. Myelination is that cause that creates that mirror. The back area of brain, the influence, the conflict, that is what is happening. The epic stories were right, metaphorically speaking. But those stories were about this brain. It was not about the external forces fighting with each other. It was never about the good and the bad. It was about finding out, truly finding out you. Beyond all these psychomes, all that is stopping you. And that is a journey that we began today. And as we continue this journey, I would like you to commit to yourself. You will be showing up next time. Maybe it takes a month for us to give you the next opportunity to sit with you and talk with you. But make sure that you use this month as a tool to build the habits of new emotioning. Love plus gratitude equals joy. Don't just see it as a theory. Oh, that love plus gratitude equals joy. No. Put that into your heart. Put that into your heart. Deeper and deeper. And I'll show you how to use our heart brain. And like next time, by the way, before I conclude, I need to introduce you to my guru, because without giving credit to my guru, that will be ungrateful. So I'm going to share the guru, and then we are conclude. We are good? Ready? Yeah. So, ready? Are you sure you're ready? Because I don't want you to be feeling that, you know what, all this time, why didn't you tell me the guru? Because if I knew that, I would not have listened to you. You will not say anything like that, right? Will you? Are you good? You're going to be not judgmental, right? Okay. So, my enlightened masters, I have actually two of them. One is this. God. Another one is this. Infants, children are our teachers. They know all this. Probably because they came from God just recently. They're not as much conditioned as us. They know this. They are my teachers. And my invitation is to be playful like a child. Come back to be like a child. Silly like a child. Dream like a child. And claim your destiny like a child. But how do I manage my emotions? You will be asking, okay, this is all good and good to say, but how do I manage my emotion? I'm going to talk about it in the next series. How do I manage my thoughts? It's incredibly more complex to manage my thoughts. I understand. We'll talk about that too in the next series, right? And how can I neurologically rewire my brain? We will go through step by step into each of these details and all of these details as we continue this journey. And how can I claim my highest destiny in this one-time visit in this planet called Earth? We will show you all that. This is going to be a really exciting journey. I'm looking forward to having this journey together with you. And I'm going to help you navigate through this journey together so that you find your power. It's not going to be me who's changing your destiny. It's going to be you. Write down me in the chat, me in the comment, right? You will be changing your destiny. And you will be teaching this work to other people and helping other people. I'm giving this to the world because like this is something that world needs to know. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? So you can teach this to other people. I want you to teach this to other people. And through teaching, as soon as you learn this, teach it to other people. And once you teach to other people, then more people will learn it and more people will understand, more people will claim their destiny. And that is my mission, to help more people claim their unbroken self. See you on the next video.